Hey everyone, Sarah Picaro here. I thought it was really important to make this video that's a little bit different from the normal things that I talk about, but it's still relevant and it's still very relatable. So today's video is going to be about money trauma and financial abuse, specifically when it comes to being in the realm of a narcissistic or toxic relationship, whether as parents or partners. So you can endure a lot of money trauma and financial abuse, and it won't show up until you're an adult because as a child, you're dependent on your caregivers for money and for survival and for the things that money can provide for you. But once you become an adult and you start to work on your own and earn your own money or get into a relationship where you're dependent on someone else's ability to do that for you, then a lot of the money trauma and financial abuse can rise to the surface and significantly impact your life, your quality of it, and your well-being. So today's video is going to be about money trauma and financial abuse. So for me, in the beginning of my journey to healing after getting out of the relationship with the second narcissist, I had no idea about what this was. I had no idea about my relationship with money and the impact that it had on my life. But when you're in a relationship with a partner who is a narcissist, they love making their partners financially dependent on them. So in the first relationship and marriage with the covert narcissist, I was completely financially dependent on him. My original background and education was formally around education and being a teacher. So I was a teacher for a number of years, but teachers don't make a lot of money. And after the divorce, I was prior to the divorce and separation was convinced and talked into just staying at home and kind of exploring what I wanted to do because I wasn't bringing home a lot of money. There was always a lot of competition in the relationship with the narcissist around money and a ton of guilt that I carried that I couldn't carry my weight in the marriage and the relationship because I didn't make enough money and he made 3 to 4 times more than what I did. So when I was talked into quitting my job and exploring what I wanted to do and finding something that made a lot more money and then was left and divorced, I felt like I had nothing. On the other hand, through the divorce, I had no idea how much debt we were in. And if you've been divorced, you know 50-50, you split everything. So we split the assets, but we also split the debt. So I came out in the hole and was terrified. Now I had no husband to be dependent on financially. Now I had no home. Now I had no money. I had no idea what I was going to do and took the most horrible advice I have ever taken. And that was to get over someone by getting under someone. So I found myself in a relationship with another narcissist, a malignant one, very quickly, right away. And that's generally what most people will do until they see that they are the common denominator in the way that their life is going, and finally stop and look in the mirror and say, I need to change something about myself. So if that's where you're at, that's exactly what you need to do. Without doing it, you're going to continue to repeat those negative patterns and cycles and continue to feel frustrated and stuck, and more than likely continue to experience the financial abuse and money trauma that you're keeping yourself in, because money is energy. So what your internal energy is reflecting when it comes to your ability to receive money or get rid of money or feel like you don't have enough of it. So it's going to contribute to your money trauma and financial abuse. So fast forward a little bit, my daughter was born and I with the second narcissist, and I did not go back to work. In fact, I very much looked forward to getting pregnant because the jobs that I had kept me in that narcissistic relationship, because I financially did not make enough money, even though I had a big girl corporate job, one that required a university degree and a bachelor's degree to even be considered for the position. It still did not give me the means to survive financially and make enough money. So the narcissist made pretty good money. So again, he talked me into just staying at home, promising the world like they always do, and that he would financially provide for us, take care of us, that he made more than enough money. So again, found myself in a place where I was financially traumatized, and financially dependent on this narcissist. And a lot of people, when they're in that space, that's where they feel completely stuck and terrified. How are they going to make it? Right? Because you need money to survive. I mean, unless you want to live on the corner, but if you're watching this, more than likely you don't. You're trying to find a way how to get out of that and to heal your money trauma and recover from that financial abuse that you may have found yourself in when you're in a relationship with a narcissist. And many, many people who go through the breakup, separation, or divorce with a narcissist find that they have a lot of trauma around money and financial abuse. And that's what keeps them in the narcissistic relationship and keeps them stuck in that place, in that position, is because they don't know how they're going to financially make it on their own. Because you start adding up what the monthly bills are and you think, I've never made that much in my entire life. I've never even made a quarter of that. How in the world am I going to survive on my own? And so you get afraid, and fear can freeze you and paralyze you. So you go into one of those trauma responses, a fight, flight, freeze. And in my case, I froze and I stayed because I was frozen, and I had to do the unconscious work and begin to do it in order to figure it out, to get on that journey to healing and healed from the financial trauma and from the money trauma and financial abuse. Even once I was out of the relationship, I remember going to the gas station and like putting my card in and just shaking, physically shaking, even the thought of getting my credit card out of my purse to put it in the machine to get gas or to purchase diapers or food, whatever it was, because in my mind I thought, I don't have the money for this. Thank goodness I have a credit card, but how is it ever going to get paid off or paid down? There's no money to pay it, but thank goodness it still works, and kind of crossing my fingers at times and hoping that it would, because we depend on that, right? Money can provide feelings of comfort, safety, security, survival. So we can't get the things that we want and need in order to survive without that exchange and energy of money. So without it, without money, we struggle. But really get into the unconscious beliefs that you have around money can completely transform everything and make such a significant impact and difference on your money trauma, your financial abuse, and healing and recovering from it. So the beliefs around money. So when I began to do the inner work and the unconscious beliefs around money, what came up for me that money was the root of all evil. I had an experience in one of my transformational healing sessions where I went back to remembering stealing money from my mom's purse because I wanted to go to the movies with a friend whose parents just gave her money. She was the youngest of all the kids in her family, and she was the only girl. So the boys, I mean, she was spoiled, and I was in a very different position, but I was comparing my life and my family's life to hers. And I had to steal for money, whereas her parents happily and freely gave her money. And so I grew up with very, very different money beliefs and believing that in order to get money, you have to steal for it, which I don't steal anything anymore. I think the last thing I remember stealing was when I was like second grade. I stole a lollipop from a store. But that belief was still there, that you're a bad person if you even desire money or want money. And when I was in the relationship with the narcissist, I wanted it because I knew it would be the key to my freedom and the key to getting out of that narcissistic relationship. If I could only have enough of it or get enough of it, then I wouldn't be stuck in that relationship anymore. But unconsciously, those beliefs were, I was a bad person if I even wanted money. And again, this didn't come up until I really got to the root and the core of these money traumas and the financial abuse and where this was all stemming and coming from and what it was that was keeping me in that fight, flight, freeze response and shaking, putting my credit card in for simple things like gas. We all need it, right? The price is always fluctuating, but it would significantly impact me if I would go to the store and see that something had gotten more expensive. Then it would like re-trigger and re-traumatize all those old money beliefs until I completely shifted, reprogrammed, and rewired them. And that's what we do with transformational healing. That's exactly what you can expect, is for all of those to shift and transpire so they don't send you into that paralyzation, the fight, flight, freeze response anymore. So thankfully, because of my daughter, I was able to look at her and say, I do not care how much it costs. I will put it on my credit card and figure it out later, because not going back to that narcissist that we just left. Thankfully, I mean, that was a decision that I made at that time. and still did not have a lot of money coming in until I really shifted and did the inner work around those money beliefs. But a lot of people don't even know what their beliefs are around money. A lot of people grow up hearing and believing that money is the root of all evil, right? Especially if you grow up in a religion that talks about only honoring one God, and that a lot of people put money as their God, or they desire that over God, or whatever it is. There's jealousy of others who have more money than you, and you don't want to be a jealous person, and you don't want others to be jealous of you. So maybe you get into a position at work or in your career where you have an opportunity for a promotion or for a pay increase, but you don't even apply for it, or you don't even put yourself into the position in order to be considered, because you don't want your family to think that you're boasting if you come over and you have a brand new car, or you're in a position that makes a lot of money. You don't even want to talk about it. So you just keep yourself where you are. You play small, you stay small, because you don't want other people to think that you're bragging and that you're better than them, even though you know that if you did have more money and you were more financially secure, you could do things with your partner or your family or whoever it is that you've always dreamt of and desired to do, but you can't do because of that fear, of that unconscious belief that's keeping you stuck and staying where you are, especially when it comes to receiving money in your life. So maybe you're not taking that vacation, you just dream about it, but that dream is never going to become a reality because you allow opportunities to pass you by. So much of that comes up, especially if you have money trauma, financial abuse in your background, in your past, because of your parents, because of your partners. If they were narcissistic, they kept you dependent on them for money. Even when you're out of that relationship now, and you are now independent and earning your own money, the beliefs that you still have about money will show up and will continue to impact and influence your life. So with that said, there are some people, again, who do earn a lot of money, and they earn really good money, but they can't seem to hold on to it. They can't seem to save it. That money burns a hole in their pocket. Again, that's because of patterns from upbringing. Maybe there's an unconscious belief that you're not worthy of it, that you're not deserving it. So although you do an incredible job of manifesting it, bringing it into your life, you can't hold on to it. You don't invest it. You don't save it, because there's an unconscious belief going on that you don't deserve it, even though you desire it. Desiring and deserving can be different beliefs, and they can be different parts of you that impact your ability to do what you want to do with the money. So maybe you're earning a lot of money, but you have nothing to show for it. Maybe you're still in crisis mode because you don't have savings, and then something in the world happens and you lose your position, you lose your job, and even though you did make a lot of money and you got a severance check, you're freaking out and panicking now that you're not going to make it past 2 months. You're going to start getting debt collectors. And if only you had been smarter or saved it when you were getting it, then you wouldn't be in this position. So maybe that's the case. Maybe money burns a hole in your pocket. And again, that's because of an upbringing. I've worked with people before whose parents were always gone, and they were working their own businesses, or they were traveling and making a lot of money to provide for the family, but they were never there. So the child grew up and is now an adult with the belief that if you make a lot of money, you've got to be gone, and you can't ever be there to actually enjoy it because you're always so stressed out about it. So I don't want this money because it's going to cause me stress. So let's just go do fun things with it. And so you spend it easily, but you don't have anything to show for it. No nest egg, so to speak. So there are so many different beliefs around money and different things that can contribute to financial abuse and money trauma, specifically when it comes to having come from a really toxic background or upbringing, or partners or parents. There's a lot that gets projected from those people onto you. And until you have done your own inner work to heal and transform or remove the money beliefs that aren't serving you, you're going to continue to have them, to hold them, and to express them unconsciously. So that is something to consider. I'm wondering if you have experienced this before and you maybe are afraid. Maybe you don't spend a penny. Maybe you know that you're a penny pincher, and you, even though you have the money. You can go shop somewhere really nice, but maybe you shop at discount places, discount grocery stores, discount clothing stores, because you just think, nope, not I'm going to save, right? Because you have a fear around, what if something happens? I can't enjoy the money that I do have. Or maybe it's the opposite and you overspend, and then you fear when something does happen, you're not going to have that safety. So money can provide a lot of safety, but there can be a lot of resentment, a lot of anger, and a lot of jealousy that comes into play. And you don't want to be someone who other people are mad at because you have money or drive a nice car or have things to show for it, those things that money can buy, right? And a lot of people say money can't buy happiness, but it can buy opportunities to spend time together. It can buy vacations, it can buy experiences, it can provide opportunities. But there's so many unconscious beliefs around money that it's bad, or you're bad if you want it, or you're bad if you desire it, or that you can never have enough of it, or when you do have enough of it, you can never hold on to it. I mean, there's so many studies out there. If you look at people who win the lottery, right, you think that much money, man, I'd be sad I'd never have to work another day in my life. Well, they're back to their job that they had before they won the lottery, even within 2 years, because all that money is gone. And that's all because of the unconscious beliefs that they have about money. And those are patterns that continue to play out. And maybe they're people who live paycheck to paycheck. Well, that's just a one big giant paycheck. Maybe they live a little bit longer until they earn their next one because they have quit their job that they had before they won the lottery. But when you look at them, those money patterns still play out in their lives because of the money trauma and because of the unconscious financial abuse that they've experienced, that lead them back to the same point in their life. So that's what I wanted to share about this. Transformational healing can do so much around even your money beliefs, healing your money trauma, your money drama, right? And give you those opportunities to call in, to receive, and hold on to the money that you deserve and desire. Money is an energy, it's an exchange. If you think about that, right? When I went to the gas station, I was exchanging and saying, hey, I'll give you, gas station pump, $50 if you will give me $50 worth of gas. So money is an exchange, but there are a lot of unconscious beliefs around that exchange that can put you into a trauma state, that can put you into that fight. I have to work really, really hard, and it feels like a fight to earn money, and then I can never hold on to it. Or a flight, right? You just run away from opportunities that will allow more money and more income into your life. Or a freeze, like I used to freeze, even the thought of having to go to the store. So money trauma can lead to the same type of trauma and same type of trauma response as other traumas. You may not have considered this or thought about this before, but especially when you're coming out of a very toxic relationship, you have toxic thoughts and a toxic mindset around money. And if you want to completely shift all of that, just like everything, healing begins from within, and it's connected to the unconscious beliefs that you have around this, so that you know, feel, and believe that money does not make you a bad person, or that if you do have money, you can hold on to it, you can enjoy it, you can spend it, you can also save it, and it won't get taken away from you by another person, just like it did with me. Or the belief and the feeling, the knowing that it's okay if you have money. Like, people are always going to have their opinions about you, and if they're jealous and they're judging you because of that, or they're saying mean things to you about what you've chosen to exchange your money for, that's actually a projection of their beliefs about money. Say you drive up in a brand new Mercedes or Audi and you forgot the money for it. Awesome. And if someone, like, who does that person think they are? Right? That has nothing to do with you. That has everything to do with their beliefs around money. And to be okay with other people's judgments and opinions and how they express them, and not take them personally, because you know it's just a reflection of them. It's not a reflection of your true worth or your true value. So knowing that, and really being okay with all that, and knowing and feeling and believing that you deserve money, that you are able to call in and manifest and create and save and hold on to and have the type of relationship with money that you deserve and that you desire. And this shows up and this impacts all areas of your life, and it significantly influences your relationships. Number one cause of divorce is around money. right? People argue and bicker about money all the time because one person wants to save it all. And that's because of their money beliefs. And the other person just wants to spend it because you only live once, right? And so there's a lot of conflict around money. So when you can shift and heal your money trauma and the financial abuse that you've endured and you've experienced from your past, so that you can call it in and you can keep it and you can feel safe with it, then everything in your life changes. So if you are interested in going on this journey through transformational healing to shift your money beliefs, because where yours are right now are no longer working for you and they're impacting your relationships, they're impacting your ability to call it in, to keep it, to save it, whatever it is that you want to do with it, that's not currently happening. I would love to connect with you and see if we're a good fit to work together one-to-one. So there's a link in the description below this video to do so. And you can always message me there to connect and to talk more about this. But until then, enjoy wherever you're at with your money, and know that if you don't like where it is, you can transform it very, very quickly and rewrite that money story.